What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. This is probably the video you've been waiting for ever since I announced in 2018 I plan on building more muscle. A lot of people have wanted to know my routine. Well, in this video today, I'm going to explain my 6 times per week training split, exactly what I'll be doing in my quest for size in 2018. Now, there are a few things I must say before I begin. Listen up! Sit down, stand back up, sit back down. There's a few things you need to understand. In the first place, this is customized for me, for my goals, my physique, what I need to do. Don't copy this exactly. You can learn certainly a lot of things in terms of how I program or how I think, the methodology when it comes to hypertrophy. Take a lot of things away, but doing the exact same routine won't be optimal for you. I'll talk about building your own program in the future. In this video, I want to explain my program and why it's built this way. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, I should explain some of the goals. I have pretty much 5 to 6 months. I'm willing to go longer to make sure it's a visible, noticeable transformation within my body. I currently weigh about 184 pounds at the start of this bulk. About 2.5 weeks in, I'm now 185 pounds. I want to gain about 10 pounds, so 195 pounds is roughly the goal. If at 195 pounds, it's really not super noticeable, the transformation, the difference, I will continue to go for maybe a month or two longer, whatever is necessary, however long it takes for you guys to see, and for all of us to see, objectively, you know what, this boy is building some muscle. The 3 out of 5 Natty King is here. After that point, I'm going to lean down to the leanest I've pretty much ever been on this channel with the help of Eric Helms. With all that out of the way, let's hop right into it. This routine is no joke, and I mean seriously no joke. I gotta plan out my sleep, I gotta plan out my eating, I gotta make sure all the outside factors are really in place for me to maximize the benefits of this routine. It's high volume, it's high frequency. Some might not survive this routine. And actually, every 4 weeks, I'll be adding a little bit more volume. I'll take a deload after the first 12 weeks. So I'll go a 4-week block, increase the volume for the next 4 weeks, increase the volume even more for the next 4 weeks. So that's weeks 9 to 12. And then after that, I'll probably deload the volume a little bit and build back up even higher than before. The total sets per workout are roughly around 20. Last year when I was going for strength, like I said before, it was around 14 or 15. So already it's at least a 25 to 30% increase in volume. 6 times per week split. I like to spread out my volume over as many days as possible. Each day has a theme to it. I am hesitant to call each day full body, which is why I'm going to call it legs pull push, legs pull push, so Monday through Saturday. But you'll notice, for instance, on the Monday, so on my leg workout, I actually at the end do a little bit more push volume, and that is because I do have several different goals. I want to increase my bench press a little bit. I'm also really interested in chest hypertrophy. You'll notice when we look at the volume split, there is more volume towards the upper body. I already got junk in my trunk. That's why I'm a peach boy.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better.
I also do a little bit more squats than probably what you're used to, and that is because A, there are some minor goals when it comes to weightlifting that I'll talk about in another video, but I also want to increase the size of my quads. So when I say the routine's customized for me, I really mean it. A few other things when you take a look at this 6 times per week split. You'll notice that deadlifts aren't really emphasized, and why is that? Well, I think in a 6 times per week split, especially when it's high volume, deadlifts to me are the most taxing exercise. If you train them really hard at the same time as training everything else, you won't have as much energy. And for me, the posterior chain is not an area necessarily that I want to super emphasize during this block. I want to continue to experience growth, but I want overall back hypertrophy, shoulder hypertrophy, chest hypertrophy, arm hypertrophy, and then yeah, some lower body hypertrophy. So you have to be selective with what you're trying to target. Now isn't the time to just overall blow up and train everything as hard as possible maximally. You need to be intelligent, especially for me when I'm kind of in that, let's call it late intermediate stage of lifting, where I can still build muscle, but I have to be smart. Otherwise, I won't maximize my progress. So, deadlifts aren't going to be as heavy. In fact, for this entire training phase, the heaviest I'll probably go is 80%. You'll notice at the start, I'm sticking at high 60s, low 70%. I'm just doing a linear ramp up, 10 pounds every single week, 5 by 5. Nothing special when it comes to the deadlifts. The squat, because I am interested in increasing it, it'll be hard with all this extra volume, but I'm squatting 4 times per week. That's for the weightlifting, that's for the quad growth, and that's also to become a little bit stronger when it comes to the squats. So squats are higher. You'll notice on the pull day, I open up with front squats. I do some pause front squats. You'll also notice on the bench workout, I do the same thing, just some breathing pause squats, really get in the groove. I think like Pavel Tedsulin talks about greasing the groove. If you want to become proficient at lift, you do it more often. So squats are super high, 4 times per week at least. Deadlifts are low, 2 times per week. It's basically on a maintenance phase. The bench press, the same idea, 3 times per week. The volume per session is roughly 20 sets per workout. There's 2 lower body workouts, and then there's 2 pull workouts, and there's 2 push workouts. And you'll notice I'm selecting movements that I think would be best for myself. So there's a couple different areas I want to improve. This might look lower volume when it comes to arms for the average person. Maybe, I'm not really sure. For me, this is a marked increase from the last 2 years when I basically was not training my arms at all. So for the first 4 weeks, this is what I'll be doing. I could tell you after the first week from not training arms at all, they're probably the sorest part of my body. And I'm not even joking. Squat 4 times per week, no problem whatsoever. Do 5 sets of bicep curls, my arms are done. So it's all about managing the volume for particular areas. That will increase over time. And I will assess at the end of each 4-week block how things are going. What do I need to improve? So you'll notice a little bit extra emphasis on certain areas. You'll notice a little bit more shoulder hypertrophy or shoulder exercises I'm trying to train. The areas I want to increase in size are basically, once again, my upper body. More arm size, more shoulder size, more chest and back hypertrophy. And then also, if I get a little bit more junk in the trunk, if my quads grow a little bit more, that would be fantastic. So you'll notice that in the split, I'll wait after this first 4-week block. I'll take photos. Maybe if you guys do want to see progress update photos, let me know. I will take a look at them, think to myself, what I need to improve, and adjust accordingly. Volume, and this is a key point, especially for this program, isn't going to be equal for every single muscle group, nor should it. Again, I need to focus on weaknesses. I need to bring them up, so I need to do more volume for certain areas. And just in general, some muscle groups respond better to higher volume, I believe. Some muscle groups respond better to lower volume. So don't think this is going to be a perfectly even routine with a 1-to-1 ratio between upper body, lower body, or between back training and front training. So when we talk about your chest and shoulders versus your back. There are several different rules for this training program. The first is that for the compound movements, I'm not going to be going to failure. The second is that you'll notice I usually begin with a heavy movement to start off the day, and then progressively the reps will get a little bit higher, the weight will get easier. So it goes from big heavy movement to lighter and lighter accessory movements, isolation movements, and the reps get higher and higher. And this is pretty natural, this is normal. I'm sure you guys are used to this. There's a few other things that aren't noted within the program that I do, and that is when it comes to isolation movements, I do 2 times per week. So I'll pick a particular movement, let's say it'll be arms. On the last set, I will take it to failure. I don't mean failure where you're literally about to have a stroke, but I mean until I can't do one more good repetition. So isolation movements are being pushed pretty damn hard. Compound movements, I am managing fatigue. I could tell you now, I'm entering, this is week 3, I'm currently in it, and I could tell you that so far the fatigue on my body, how I'm feeling, it feels pretty good. The first week was rough because I went from, let's say, 15 sets per week to 20 sets, and I added an extra day. So there's a lot more volume added in quickly, but I adjusted, my body adjusted, things are feeling good. A few other points, the movements that I chose when it comes to the accessory movements are movements that I personally like, so I feel the area I'm trying to target. I don't think that these are superior to every other single movement. Just because I'm doing close grip bench press doesn't mean everybody should be doing the close grip bench press. Again, I talked about building my arms, so if I'm going to do a compound movement, it makes sense to use a movement when we talk about a horizontal push that targets your arms a little bit more. And thus you'll see over time how a program is kind of customized for the individual and what you need to build. Naturally, we have a propensity to build muscle in different areas. Some of us might be top heavy, we might be torso dominant, where for me, for instance, that chest, just in terms of surface area, is a lot bigger. It grows more easily than my arms. Other people, you might be limb dominant, so your arms might really grow. And that's why over the years, you'll see after doing a relatively even split, what grows, what doesn't grow, and what you need to do in order to get the body that you want. And maybe that's the last point. Everyone has different aesthetic goals. I do agree, we can certainly agree on certain aesthetic standards. Proportion, symmetry, size, those are important. But I think if you're to ask 10 different lifters to name their favorite physique, you'd probably find 2 or 3 that would agree, but most would have different opinions. So your training routine has to match your goal, the goal that you have. This is my routine, what I feel will work best for me. This comes from my years of experience coaching people, coaching myself, learning from my own lifting, what has worked in 2013. It was the last year that I went in a hypertrophy phase and I got great results from that, so I'm excited in this year to make even more gains. Probably the last thing that I would say is that a lot of people, when they're bulking, they forget to do things like cardiovascular work. I will not forget that. I don't want to turn into a fat turd. So I forgot to mention this, or maybe it's not in the routine, but at least 2 times a week I'll be doing some sort of cardio, so either sprints, high intensity interval training, so maybe some prowler work, and also not being such a lazy asshole, just going for more walks throughout the day. So trying to get 10,000 steps every single day is a goal of mine, just to keep activity level up. I'm eating more calories. I want to make sure with that nutrient partitioning it's going to where it should be, muscles. Guys, that is the video. That is what's going down in 2018. I know it's in vogue right now to talk about fat loss because, ooh, guess what? It's January. Fuck all that noise. We're talking about building some damn muscle. When it comes time, 6 months from now, we'll be talking about that body recomp, but for now, it's about building muscle. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video. Leave a like if you want to see me make a video on how to customize your own routine, hypertrophy routine for your own goals and needs, because again, this is going to work great for me. Might not necessarily work great for you. You could take a lot of tips away, ideas to implement into your own training. I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace! Listen up, sit down, stand up, sit back down. Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.